Who love to eat are always the best people. How correct is that? I mean, you and I can actually attest to that fact that only people who love to eat are the best people, because my people will say you cannot be hungry and think about something else. It's a different thing if you're fasting, but you see, when you are hungry, you're not in the right frame of mind. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Accelerate Lagos here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I am Taiwo Barua, welcoming you to another edition of the show. And today on the program, we are focusing on the World Food Day, which is actually celebrated worldwide every October 16. All right, it is a United Nations recognized day, talking about World Food Day, 16th of October every year. And so we're focusing on how LSETF is empowering food entrepreneurs in Lagos. That is the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund empowering food entrepreneurs in Lagos. I have my guests seated in the studio, and together we shall be dissecting issues bordering around food and food security in this part of the world, especially in Lagos. Francis Ojile is my guest, and he's very much in the building. Good morning to you, Francis. It's good to have you with me in the studio.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, Francis. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
All right, then. So good to have you here also. Can you tell us a bit about your journey as a food entrepreneur in Lagos and how the lifestyle has influenced your business?
Okay, so one thing about food is I think it's the only culture that brings people together, because food is actually very powerful, that it can create a lot of relationship when there's food on the table.
So it's safe to say food is universal.
Yes, it's universal. So now I myself, when it comes to food, I always feel like I just need to eat because I need to satisfy my hunger. So knowing too well that when I pass through Lagos, every little corner you go to, you see people selling food. You see it's always in front of you, so you can't escape that feel that you need to eat, right? So that means it's essential to day-to-day activities you get. So, but for my journey over time, getting to understand that food is not just essential enough, it is the need for us to make sure that the nutritional value in that food is represented each time we eat. So I happen to eat myself to a fault. So when I say eating myself to a fault, means that I ate so much that at the end of the day I started having health issues at a very tender age of 27, 28, right? So that means that the food I eat, I became constipated. So the food can't digest properly based on the way it has been prepared, due to deep frieds, and most of those oils are hydrogenated oils and all that. So, one thing about oil is that once you fry them, it's like wrapping the food in an oil bag. So it takes 6 to 7 times harder for the tummy to digest that oil before getting to the food.
Wow.
So, as so doing, we're eating more. So, literally speaking, a lot of us in Lagos are constipated. That's the truth.
Wow.
We don't know until when probably we get to have, maybe one way or the other, we are being diagnosed of one health issues or the other. So that is how my journey became to, and I got to understand that food is not just what we eat when we are hungry, but food is a fuel to our body. It means that once we have food in our body that is loaded with vitamins and minerals, it means that we can go on with like daily activities. So, but once you eat right, you're definitely going to be feeling good. But when you eat wrongly, one way or the other, they'll ask you, you've not been eating right. Then start thinking of what to do.
Okay, so from what you just said now, it appears you know so much about food. Tell me about what you do.
Amazing. So I'm a food therapist. So food therapist in the sense
Food therapist.
So meaning that we just know that food is not just what you eat. Food needs to heal. So the purpose of food, it has to give you what the body needs. So over the years, I've been practicing on how to cook culinary meals when it has to do with food that are healthy meals, healthy option meals, meaning that what you like eating will make it in a more healthier way for you to get in the vitamins and minerals, the essential vitamins and minerals your body needs. So I've been doing this for more than 6 years. So I do clinical cooking, I do conventional cooking. You know, when I say clinical, meaning that those who already have lifestyle diseases like degenerative diseases like obesity, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, something that has to do with meaning that the body has problem, there is an hormonal imbalance in the person's system that needs to be taken care of. Someone is undergoing chemotherapy and all that. They need to eat proper meals so it can help the body to heal from the inside out. So doing that over time, we actually cook without using the sole use condiment we use every day. Pour so much of this condiment in our food, sodiums and all that, consistently in our meals. They are one of the reasons why each time we're treating ourselves, we don't get quick results because of the presence of sodium, right? So that way we cook without using sodium, we cook without using all these so-called condiments or spices that are not naturally, right, that the body don't need. So we cook with natural spices, natural condiment. At the end of the day, the body heals itself, and guess what? The food still tastes the way it should taste, just like the way our grandmother used to make their meals in those days. Yes. So over time, that gave me the opportunity and my team to be able to do a lot of awareness programs, you know, CSR with private and public individuals to be able to, you know, share this, create an awareness to let them know that you don't just eat because you want to eat. You need to eat because you need that food to help you stay well, so that you can live much better.
I am curious, what actually prompted you to venture into being a food therapist?
Very good question. So I studied maths and statistics. Yeah. So nutrition wasn't my I never saw that coming to my life, right? So, but one of the things that prompted me was that I myself had an experience. Yes. So, and that experience happened to me when I was I was abroad. Yeah. So I hit to a point where I had serious issues, and I was opportune to meet a Chinese person who helped me through the natural detoxification program for 2 weeks, because I was constipated that I can literally perceive the food I eat, and my food can't come out of my body because of what is blocked. Yeah. So, and I did that program for 2 weeks, and that helped me. So I was shocked, and I look a bit dark, but during that 2 weeks without eating any cooked food, natural plant-based process, I was looking very clean and a bit fair.
Wow.
So it means
that's clear skin.
Yeah. So it means that when you eat fresh, the fresh you eat, the better you look. So I tell people that once you are growing older, you are meant to be looking younger. You look older when you are growing up, but when you get to one certain age, like maybe from 20 or 25, you need to start looking younger. So because you see, somebody can be very young and their heart is already looking 100. You know why? Because one thing about all these things we talk about majorly is fats. Fats majorly. So what fat does is that it builds plug around the artery wall, which is the heart. So the flow of blood that pumps to the heart can't penetrate anymore, right? Over the years, because blood can't penetrate to the heart, it affects the heart, and the heart is exposed to anything that can attack it, right? So that person can, then that you realize that the person is having high blood pressure. There's, you know, the person needs to just calm down, relax. Because that's why I say that people who have high blood pressure, always tell them not to think much, not to stress themselves more, because once you stress yourself much, it can affect your heart to shut down, because the state of rest and the state of stress can affect the flow of blood to pump faster to the artery wall.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, if you're wondering who I am speaking with this morning, with so much vigor, I have in the house with me Francis Ojile, who is a food therapist. You're surprised, right? Therapist is what we hear now. So much going on around us. People are going through a lot. Challenging times we are in, and therapists, we just need them all around us. We have Francis Ojile in the studio with us. Should you have any concern, should you have any question you want to ask him, you can put a call through and be a part of the conversation this morning on 0809 9120 777. You can also send a text to our WhatsApp platform, and we'll be here to take all your concerns. Let's tell you that the roads are looking quite okay this morning. Most of the part we are tracking at this time are looking a lot better. However, for those of you around the Yanawuru, aiming to connect the third mainland region. I can see a bit of steady movement right about now. I'm yet to confirm the course of this. The traffic manager around the third mainland bridge, would you please, Yana Wuro, third mainland bridge, would you please confirm to me what's going on at this time, the course of a steady movement heading inward the island? Francis,
yes, ma'am.
You have been into your business of being a food therapist for 6 years. How has, and you on this platform, based on your relationship with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, tell me about your relationship with them, how LSETF support empowered you to expand your business and cater to the diverse food needs of Lagosians?
Okay, very good question. So I am one kind of person that I feel like it's not easy for you to get an opportunity when it has to do with Lagos or the federal government, state or federal government, right? Because it has to be with, it goes around the people that work within that space. But I was opportunity by a friend of mine who told me that it's not true, that the truth is information have been spread across, but we are not just available to get those information. So he shared the information about LSETF to me, and I jump on it, and because thinking that okay, I'm not from the state, so maybe I might not get the opportunity and all that. But I was surprised that, you know, even before I was given, I was a beneficiary to many of their trainings that has to do with development of business. You know, we have webinars, some coming up, free webinars talking to us about how we need to manage our accounts, because you know there's one thing about we are like coach or people who train. You know, we can't really have our hands on everything, so we used to lack balancing our accounts when it has to do with business. Those structures are really there. We can be making the money, but we don't really know
we can't account for it.
We can't account for it. So, and that affected us a lot. So we need, and because we can't afford to pay someone, so we need training that can also help us to be in alignment until we're able to create a system and structure for the business. So one of those things I benefited until they also gave me some funds to be able to run my spice business, because one of the things that I do over time is that I find out that because I can cook without using sodium or using condiments that are man-made ones or something, many of my clients can't sustain that cooking. So we're able to create spices that you don't even need those things, and you can cook. So I approached them, and they were able to give me funds to sustain production, right? Because one of the things a lot of SMS go through is you can have a lot of fantastic ideas, you know, you want grants, but if you don't have the finance, and aside having the finance, one thing that I was really impressed is that they checkmate you to know if truly
you exist.
Yes, if truly exist, and you have the capacity also, and what you have is something that it can be tested. So some of the staff also have to, you know, check me out and even try the product, and that gives me the leverage, and that is one of the things that's been keeping me abreast, because each time they have programs, paid programs, they send me there to go. Even open trade fair, they send me there to go. So that gives me visibility to my products, to what I do, and that sustained me in business, because I know people that would do business together. A lot of them are not existing now, or because it has not really been easy due to a lot of ups and downs, not meeting up with expectations and funds and all that, ma'am.
Yes. As a food therapist, being a food therapist is a kind of business that I know to a reasonable extent is not saturated, right? Yeah. However, I also know that dealing in spices and the likes is a saturated market. As a matter of fact, if you know your spices, you can walk into any of the open market and you would get everything you want. Yeah. I mean, at even reasonable prices. Yeah. However, here is my concern. You running that kind of business, tell me your challenging times and what has kept you going in this business in the last 6 years.
Okay, so I take advantage of what we have in the States, meaning that I look at my proximity, so where my location is not too far away from where I can get most of the things I need in terms of getting my products done. So that helped me manage my resources, right? And for the fact that I have services that I render, which has to do with lifestyle management in terms of meal planning, training of chefs, and also when it has to do with corporate trainings on healthy living, come give people speech and all that. So that has helped keep me along with the products, right? So each time I go to have an activities, I always have an opportunity to sell the product. So that has kept me over time, and that was one of the things that have made me stay in the business. And people can see that, okay, if you can be doing this all alone for a while now, you're still there. It means that once you have been given an opportunity, you can do better. So I feel that there's a need for us to be trained properly to understand things before jumping at getting funds for business, because else you get the money, you might make mistake, you end up owing, and you can't meet up, then your business is down, then you're running extra skater. So I feel it's the trainings that I get that have kept me all along, and with the services and product that I put together.
You have spoken about what has kept you going. Tell me about your challenging times, the most challenging period for you in this journey.
Okay, so the most challenging time in this journey, especially now, is because once you're a new brand coming into the marketplace, so it's there's limitation in the sense that your brand is not known. Yeah, even though the product is good, not until when there's an awareness or they are able to try the product, that is when they see the need for it. So now, because there's competition in the market now, because of the way things are getting high, you can't increase your price. Because the moment you increase your price to meet up with the people competing with you, they end up not buying from you. So what it means is that you have to let go of thinking of profit of maybe 100% profit, sometimes even 50% profit. So you see yourself making like 30 to 40%. So then, at the end of the day, staying in the business, because you know that you need people to continue to see your brand. You don't need to start thinking you want to make all the profit now. So it's part of the foundation or building yourself, right? So it has been very challenging now. Like sometimes when I see the way it's been, my products or my services is being, it's been priced, except when there's a situation. Whenever I have clients who already have serious situation, maybe being referred from the hospitals or that, whatever I see, they pay for it. But I don't get that as much as people who just want to come randomly. So that has been my challenge, meeting up with competition and whatever it is within the economy now. So it has not been easy, but we are still there regardless, because we are ready to continue to push to be able to get the opportunity.
So Lagos is known for its fast-paced lifestyle. How have you been able to adapt your offerings to meet the demands of busy Lagosians? I mean, you just said yourself that in Lagos, practically everywhere, you would find things you can snack on. They even bring food to that traffic where you are. I see things like that. How are you able to adapt to all of this?
Okay, so the lifestyle in Lagos, I think a lot of people are becoming very conscious now. So if people, one way or another, hears that somebody has one health issues or the other, because if you look at it very well now, a lot of people are trying much as possible to stay green.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so you see, from planting to fresh things, people just want to try as much as possible to, even though they don't do it, but they know. So everybody now in Lagos, because sometimes when I just sit down and watch, doing my survey, I found out that the amount of people that just eat, in crossroad, on the road close to the gutter and all that, not as much as before. Probably maybe because the price, I don't know, but it has reduced, right? But what I would say as a person is, it has a lot of people are seeing the need now to start eating healthy, even though they don't practice it. So most of them just need someone that can just continue to talk about it, just like what you guys are doing with LSETF, right? It's helping create an awareness for people to know that you should be your own doctor, right? So whatever goes to your mouth goes a long way. It's either you are eating to live or you are eating to die. Sorry to say that, right? So, but the truth is, a lot of people are going through a lot. And the fact is, if you eat yourself to fall ill and you get to the hospital today, it is left for you and yourself alone to take care of yourself. So why not just create the time for you to be able to eat an healthy meals? Healthy meals doesn't really mean that it has to be maybe you cook it yourself. If you have somebody you can trust who can make it for you, but the food that is cooked that you can be sure of is much more better than the food that you buy out there that you don't know where it's coming from. Because why? We have a lot of enhancement today, from sweetener to color and all that. Our jollof rice, our fried rice, our taste, from even the fact is your tea can even, they don't really need sugar anymore. There's a lot of enhancement taste that gives just a little bit of it, make it so tasty. And those things your body don't need them. Your body don't need them. So, but trust me, right from COVID to now, a lot of people are very, very conscious about what they eat, in terms of, most especially in Lagos.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about your access to market and how LSETF has influenced that for you to reach, food-loving community in Lagos.
Okay, so like I said, the opportunity to showcase our products, our services to trade fairs, also network, because they create an opportunity for us to network among ourselves, those who like minds of people who are beneficiaries of LSETF. We all connect together, and one way or the other, we're able to connect to wider reach. And through the opportunities also, we get an opportunity to be able to showcase our brand in some stores that are, I don't know how to put it, probably they are, there's an agreement between them with the stores, so they give you the opportunity to have your products out there and all that. So it has really been a very fantastic time with them as a food entrepreneur.
All right then. So as a food entrepreneur and a food therapist in Lagos, tell me, as a beneficiary, what role do you think food entrepreneur play in shaping the culinary landscape of Lagos?
So food is heart. It's I think naturally the fact is, when you are living, be it animals or human, we eat to live, right? So every day of our life we eat. So I think that the sensitization now means that a lot of people are finding every means now to start cooking, as in looking at their kitchen now like before. Everybody want their kitchen to look clean.
Clean, yeah. Yeah,
so you see they cover their hair, they try to use hand gloves, So it's something that I know that it has really changed the whole process. I think that probably, that's why I said training makes you better. Training just aligns you to do some things without being told. By default, you just want to follow best practices. So for me, I feel that it has really helped to shaping the manner at which people see food now. So people try as much as possible to, because when it has to do with cleanliness, it is very important for food.
Yes.
So I see that a lot of people, especially those who do social media, meals delivery and all that, they try to show their kitchen, try to show what they do. That has really changed the mindset and the view of the way people see food and the kitchen. Large.
All right then. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The program is Accelerate Lagos, and today we are discussing the World Food Day, focusing on how the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is empowering food entrepreneurs in Lagos. My guest is still very much in the building. We'll be taking a look at one or two traffic report, and then we'll be doing, the final lap on the show this morning. Let me tell you that for those of you using Lagos Ibadan Expressway coming in from Ogudu end, you have a steady flow heading inward. The lap basically due to fuel queue around MRS and NNPC. Wemco Road looks free from all angles. I see manual alternation going on, and the traffic managers are firmly on ground there. Ojile Road is also looking very okay from the screen here. Lezenk on Lagos Abeokuta Expressway looking quite appreciable, not without the usual slowness around the major bus stops, but you still have it looking quite okay. Ikorodu Road is also looking very good, pushing through Ojota. I did say earlier that Iyana Wuru inward, the third Milan Bridge, was a steady one, but I can confirm to you now that it's a free flow of traffic. If you're going towards Penn Cinema, you really have nothing to worry about. All right, Francis Ojile is still in the studio. He is a food therapist. Francis, let's look at some methods of cooking. You're a therapist. You have been able to learn one or two things as to what we do wrong in cooking. You hear some people say, oh, I want the smoky jollof rice, the one made with firewood. Some people will say, oh, using the gas is this, it has a bit of emission here and there. Some people will say, oh, let's talk about, ways of cooking and how healthy are these ways of cooking? Some people will tell you, I can do half-boiled egg. It's more nutritious. I for one, I can't stand half-boiled egg. I'd rather not eat egg.
Okay, so before I proceed, so the theme for World Food Day for the year says rights to food for a better life and a better future, right? So they buttressed by saying that this theme emphasizes the fundamental human rights to accessible, nutritious, affordable, and sustainable food to ensure everyone's well-being and dignity. So it's intense, right? So for cooking, the first cooking process. The first cooking process is actually the metal you use in making your meals. The surfaces your food touches matters a lot.
Okay.
Because it goes through heat.
Yes.
Right? So that's why you see, when you look at the medical space, you can't see any kind of metal rather than has to do with stainless steel. Because now we call them high grade of stainless steel. We call them surgical steel, right? Because they don't leach, they don't react to the blood. That's why the nurse, the doctor, the surgeons can actually use the needle, the scissors, the knife for operations and all that for their medical stuff, right? That's because it doesn't leach to the human body. So it means that stainless steel, high grade of stainless steel, if it's not leaching to the human blood, it means it won't react to our food. That's why I see that those who have health issues, especially they lost their spine or bone, there's a replacement. So when you hear that they replace somebody's new bones and all that, that metal they use, it's a surgical metal. They're called surgical metal, 316. That's the high grade of stainless steel.
Okay.
That 316. We have 304, 306, and other metals, but 316 is the highest grade. So if that grade can be used for the submarine engine compartment under the sea salt water and it doesn't react to the metal, and the submarine is moving under the water, so it means that it doesn't react to salt, it doesn't react to water. So if you use such a metal for your meal, it means that the same thing you put inside those pots that is made of high grade of stainless steel, it's the same thing, you're getting better. So cooking that way, you don't even need too much of spices and salt to be able to get the taste, because our food, they have their own natural taste. So the surface area of where you cook your meal matters a lot. So the non-stick, the cast iron, the aluminum, and that, they leach out. If you want to try it, boil water with them, just put a little bit of water and boil. And if you let it calm down, then taste the water and see what happens. If possible, you can add a bit of salt or bicarbonate of soda inside and let it boil. So that's what we call the pollution test, to check if our metals are okay enough, if they are not leaching to our food. That is just one of the things.
Tell me what it would taste like.
I can't even express, but it's so bitter. It's not, because naturally when you boil, it's meant to be clean. It's meant to be as taste as water, like taste as salt. Yes, either tasteless or taste like the salt you put in. Okay. Right? But once it starts looking, and mind you, the water too is going to change. It's going to look like it's going to look brownish, or might even look darker, depending on, because what happens is that those metal leaches and takes in the things that you've cooked.
Yes.
That's why when you boil water with aluminium pot, you see that there's oil on top of the water. If you have tried it before, I don't know, just try and boil. That's why they don't use aluminum pot to boil water, except they're only using it to boil water alone. But once you use it to cook, you can't use it to boil water, to use the water to bathe or for tea. So that's why I say a lot of people use stainless steel for using for boiling their water, right? So that's just what it is. So now, then looking at the other things that has to do with food preparation, one, we peel a lot. Most of our tuber crops, we don't need to peel them. Because scientists find that food that grows under the soil, that we call them crop, 50% of their natural medicine lie beneath the skin. So it means that your yam, your potatoes, your garlic, your coconut, your carrots, you don't need to take the peel. So you need to wash them thoroughly. Yes, so that's why I say, I don't know if you've eaten yam that is cooked with the back horn, or eat roasted yam that is roasted with the back.
Wow, roasted yam.
Taste. Same thing with boiled yam too. All you need to do is wash the yam thoroughly. Either potatoes, either yam.
With iron sponge.
Yeah, with iron sponge or vegetable brush. It's a brush we call vegetable brush. And once you wash it, become clean, chop it and put it in your cookware, and it cooks. And guess what? There's water to cook the yam. You don't even need water to cook the yam, because why? Most of all our plants, as far as they are fresh, they are water mineral soluble. They have water in them to cook themselves. But because we use too much of it, it burns instead of it cooking. So the lower the heat, the better it cooks. But because we are always in a hurry, the food burns, so we are burning our nutrition.
Gas is expensive.
So that's why I said the lower it cooks, the better. If you hide the gas, that's when the gas burns faster.
Yeah.
So you can see. So with the method of cooking, it even saves your gas. It saves your gas.
Before I let you go, I really need to touch on it, because I know the Lagos State government is doing a whole lot in terms of taming or even eradicating the use of styrofoam, aside from the fact that these things clog your drainages and, it really affects the ecosystem. Talking about the health, let's talk about the food package now. I know you have mentioned the ones we use in cooking. In a minute, can you speak on this package for food, the likes of the styrofoam, and then the bottle we use in taking water? Remember, these are plastic bottles also that are sometimes even exposed to heat. I would like to have a reaction on that. Maybe we would have to go back to the ordinance of drinking from the pot.
Okay, so, well, very good question. This, that's why I feel like...
In less than a minute,
yes, the idea of recycling has really come to place to help that, because so everybody knows that for every bottle you have in your hand, it's either you drop it in a place where somebody can pick it up and they recycle. So it's saving us to that greener economy we want, right? Because there's no how we can take out PET bottles from the system now. That's we have a long way to go. You get except because it's going to take a lot of time. But I'm very happy that styrofoam one particularly, apart from the health implication, the blockage of our drainages and all that. So I'm kudos to the government that they were able to take that out. But we can't take that PEP out of the system. So the only way we can do is by recycling, which I'm seeing that a lot of people are even engaged. A lot of people are making a living from it. So for the heat you talk about, now I tell people the only thing you can do is to take charge of your health. Nobody's responding for your health. So what you can take charge is that if you can take charge of your water, take charge of your food, take charge of where you sleep, I think you are good to go. But the government will continue to try their best. But as human, you are responding for your own health.
What would be your advice to aspiring food entrepreneurs in Lagos who are looking to tap into the city's vibrant lifestyle and food culture?
So what our advice is, try and get a system that can help you stay in business. So position yourself to stay in business, meaning that once you keep positioning yourself, there are a lot of opportunity out there, just like what Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is doing, right? So if you don't position yourself, you won't even know that there are opportunities.
They are existing.
So some people already have back history, bad history, that they can't even jump on opportunity, because if you don't have a good record, right, you can't even jump on opportunities like this, because they want to see your record. So what have you been doing? So I advise that anything you are doing today, don't feel like because you're taking a very small step today, nobody's watching you. Don't even think about that. Whatever you are doing, just be consistent and be focused, and believe that one day or some way, because of how consistent you are, opportunity comes, you jump at it. Because why? You've been building yourself while you are moving forward in life. So integrity matters, and focus yourself and be positioned to opportunities.
All right, position yourself for opportunities lying ahead of you. Those are the words of Francis Ojile this morning. He is a food therapist, and today on Accelerate Lagos, we have discussed the World Food Day and how the LSETF is empowering food entrepreneurs in Lagos. Thank you so much, Francis, for coming on the show. This is where we drop the anchor on today's edition of Accelerate Lagos. I remain Taiwo Barua. The program makes a return next week, Wednesday at 10:15. Until then, I'll see you next time.